Hey everybody, how's it going? Joey and Nate here with Dixie Doggers, coming at you with another podcast, episode 4. We recorded this originally the other night, but man, I was feeling a little bit under the weather. Head was stopped up and just didn't feel good, so we're gonna give it another try, see how this one works out. We've had a few days to kind of mull it over a little bit more, a few different things we wanted to talk about, added a few things, took a few things away, so it worked out good. Also, the weather. This is February 18th, I believe, and listen, man,
Yes, 18th.
the winter weather, I know most everybody in the country knows, it's been insane. We have been extremely lucky. We have been blessed. We are on the line, literally. There is a line where you can drive 15 minutes to the west and the roads you can't even hardly drive down them. And where we're at, it's, so. We've had a couple of days that it was really bad, and
It warmed up enough where it melted.
Yeah, it wasn't a mess like we thought of. So our thoughts and prayers go out to all the folks in Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Arkansas,
Everybody out in the west,
Mississippi,
the northwest.
Tennessee. I mean, I can name all the states, but I'm not being like that. Kentucky. We got a lot. We got a lot of friends in the dog world that live in these states, and cold weather's hard on dogs. It's hard on humans, and the power grid messed up, or something. Mother Nature happened. That's what happened. Mother Nature happened.
Yeah.
I don't think you can blame it on man of any kind, because I mean it's not a normal winter weather scenario, especially for the Texas area. But you guys, if there's anything that we could do, I know this will be coming at you a few days later. You just give us a call, man. If you need something or anything that we can do, let us know. Like I said, our thoughts and prayers with you and your families. It's been pretty wild weather. Like I said, we've been very lucky here. We had a couple of days that were extremely cold, and
Yeah, we woke up. What was it? Wednesday morning, Tuesday.
it was 5.
Yeah, Tuesday.
With the wind blowing, I don't even know what it was, but it was actually 5.
Yeah.
And for here in Alabama, that's pretty cold, very damn cold. We had all the dogs have done really good, but we brought some pups inside, put them in the buildings, got them warmed up.
Yeah.
Nate and Logan made sure that fed them some good warm soup.
Take some broth, mix it in with their dog food.
Yeah, I mean, do everything you can to help them. It's just like you. A good warm cup of coffee is better than a glass of ice water when it's 5 degrees. I guess I don't know. I would. I'd rather drink. I would chill and drink coffee all the time. So, all right. So what we're going to talk with today, like I said, we've been doing this whole series of kind of for beginners, for people who are just starting out, and we welcome any and all helpful comments, hints, tips, tricks, whatever. If you know our number, holler at us. If you don't, you can email us, leave us a comment, whatever you need to do, get in contact with us. But leave the negative stuff out. Nobody wants to hear all that bullshit. That's keep it to yourself. But if you got something that's helpful for somebody else, or if it's something that doesn't work that we're saying, let us know. Yeah. But the things that we're talking about are what has worked for us.
Yes, just because it works for us,
it does not mean it works for anybody else. We're trying to. I'm not going to say it doesn't work for anybody else, because I know quite a few people, because I've learned it from other dog men, that these steps and methods have worked for. A lot of it's just common sense. All right, so we went over how to go on a hunt. Is one of our first episodes, and then your equipment and gear. So now, say that you've decided you want to hunt, you like hog dogging, and
we'll have dog in a race.
Yeah, you don't want to just be the guy sitting there talking about it. You want to have your dog out. So we're going to go over going and getting a dog. There's a multitude of ways to make that happen. You can, if you want to buy, most of the time it's somebody new. The guys that you hunt with, most of those guys are going to have a pup, a young dog, or an old dog. one that can help you train a pup or something like that, and they'll generally help you out if you're a good person. If nobody ever tries to help you out,
you're doing something wrong.
Probably not.
That
Probably an asshole.
Or your friends aren't worth the shit.
Yeah, well, that happens too. But we got great friends. Yeah, true.
The assholes usually don't last that long.
Yeah, I mean, which I know a couple of them. But all right, so what we're gonna start out with? Say you're gonna just go buy a dog right off the bat. Most everybody wants a puppy. They want a puppy so they can train it and do it their way and da 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 and all that, and that's great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So if you go to buy a puppy, get some recommendations if you can. If not, find your reputable breeder online or through word of mouth or whatever. Call and talk with them. Set up a day that you can go and hunt with the parents if you're going to buy a puppy, if possible. There shouldn't be any reason why they wouldn't let you see how the parents hunt and how they work if you're serious. And I don't mean going and buying. This ain't going to be no $50 dogs most of the time I'm talking about.
$800
yeah, if you're serious,
puppies a lot of times.
Well, it's going. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that's going. Yeah, puppy prices are $500 to $1,000 all over the place.
$500 is pretty common.
Yeah, for what we're running.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get what you pay for a lot of times.
Not into competition hunts like coon hunts or nothing like that.
No, this is for hog dogs, like I said. This so you got you a breeder. All right, so scenario here, me and Nate gonna play off each other here. He's a young guy. He just started out hunting. He's coming hunting with me. Done been 3 or 4 times. I think he's gonna make a good dog guy. So he asked me about getting a dog. I don't have anything right now. I got one I'm gonna plan to breed when, next time she comes in heat. Da da da. I'm gonna give him the whole thing, and then I say, well, Leroy's got some pups that are come off 2 damn good dogs. Here's his number. All right, so I give Nate Leroy's number. I go home that evening, I holler at Leroy, I say, hey, I'm going to send a young man your way, treat him right, take him out, show him how the parents work, and then Nate's going to take it from there. So now what do you do, Nate?
So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to ask him, hey, what shift does Leroy work? Does he work? Because I don't want to call him while he's working or while he's eating.
Yes.
Don't want to be that guy as soon as somebody sits down to eat, get a phone call from a random number.
Because you never know.
Yeah, and then you got to call them again, and anytime you call them again, some people get weird about stuff like that.
What? What do you want?
Yeah, exactly. And so figure that out. Figure a good time to call him. Call the man, talk to him, ask him, first of all, what breed of dog it is, because it might be a really large breed of dog, like stag hounds or something crazy like that. It might be mixed breeds, whatever. But not everybody wants a 100-pound, 120-pound dog, and also not everybody wants a 15 or 20-pound dog like a jag.
Yep.
So, cur dogs.
We're gonna say jags a lot.
Yeah. So cur dog, good medium-sized dog. Okay, I like that. Well, what style? How do the parents hunt? It's like, okay, well the mama's more typically, she's a medium-range dog, and so is dad. Mom is semi-silent. The dad is silent. It's like, okay, that's what I like. So everything so far checks out good. I am interested in these puppies. So then I'll ask Leroy, like, hey, what's a good time for us to go hunting? Trying to get a hunt planned together. If I have some property already gathered up from my grandpa or just knowing people, take him as just a good gesture. That's really nice because a lot of private land is hard to get your hands on, especially when it comes to dog hunting. And so we'll either go hunt my property or his, either way. Say we're supposed to meet at 6 o'clock, get there at 5:30 with my biscuit and coffee, have him one too. Just help him, make sure he doesn't need help with anything, offer, whether it's just holding the dog while he's calling it up, leads, whatever. Bring your own leads. If you got a tracking system, bring yours in case his tears up or something.
Anything.
Don't bring. Be careful if you don't have any dogs, so don't bring anybody else. Usually just you go with him. Let him kind of take the lead because he's going to be the hunt master.
Because he's probably going to have a couple guys that he hunts with already.
And he might bring them. He might bring some other dogs too. Mm-hmm. So notes to check on the parents, how those dogs handle. Do they look like they're just running around slamming their head into stuff like bucking broncos? or are they more methodical, a little calm? But once you turn them loose, they really get out there. So just watch how they hunt. Make sure how the dogs are hunting that day correlate pretty close to how he told you they're going to hunt. And then after that, you come back, you go to Leroy's house, you're going to look at these puppies. Be careful. If he's got dogs in the kennel, like up off the ground or something, you ain't really got to worry about it. But on chains or something like that, worry about cross-contamination on your boots, because you can bring something home to your yard, or you can bring something from your yard to there, whether it be coccidiosis, parvo, anything like that. Ask to look at the puppies, just kind of see if they're lively. They ain't got to be morbidly obese waddling around, but they should be healthy. They shouldn't be really, really skinny.
They should
pick
be
them
filled
up,
out with a little loose skin.
run your hands over them if you feel like any clots. Sometimes that's from fleas. They could have had fleas, still have them either way. You pick their gums up. Their gums are real pale. That mean they're anemic or they have worms. You just kind of hold them close, listen to their chest, see if they got any rattling in there, smell their breath. Their breath smells really bad. They could have ate something bad, but if all of their breath smells like really bad, it can be some sort of
They've got
illness.
something in there. I mean, it's
clear
just
eyes,
one of them
stuff
things.
like that. Just because the mama dog's run down, like as far as skinny,
Yeah.
doesn't mean she's not healthy. That just means she's putting out a lot of effort. Usually, most of the time, the healthiest puppies have the worst looking mama dog.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
she's putting all of her effort into keeping them puppies fat and healthy. And just looking at them, now it gets down to, okay, all these puppies check out. They seem healthy. So now I'm going to figure out which one I want. So you just kind of look. Don't want to really pick the one just kind of laying there and not real active or nothing, because I don't know. It's kind of like, I don't know if y'all ever bought goldfish or anything at the store, but you don't want to pick the goldfish that's just like staying by himself. That's usually not a good sign with those things. But there's no true way of just picking like, okay, this is going to be the best
way.
Yeah, there's no foolproof way. A lot of times the runts have more spunk because they're fighting the whole time, but a lot of times the runts can also be malnourished because they're getting bullied out of food and stuff like that.
And they're fighting on it.
And fighting all the
One
time.
more thing I want to do, and I should have said it just a minute ago. You know, we've been talking about this, like, you know, when you're having a conversation and something pops in your mind, we've been trying to write stuff down, like back and forth. It's like, you know, kind of some kind of footnotes to go by. But like you was talking about a while ago about taking the parents out hunting, keep in mind now, these videos that we're doing right now, this is for people who have not done this very long.
Yeah.
If that mom and daddy dog get off their ass and they go out yonder and hunt, and they run and do what they're supposed to do, and there's no hog at the end of the day, so what? There might not have been a hog. There might not have been,
Might have been no first
don't
sign.
base
They might be
that.
a more hot-nosed dog and can't pick up a 12-hour
Don't
track.
base not catching a pig on that dog. Base the dog's performance. That's the only thing I had to add. And Nate was touching everything right there that I could.
But other than
That would have touched on that. So.
pick out whatever dog likes you the most, because usually if they're attention, that's because a lot of the dogs, once they get older, they kind of figure out the relationship. Okay, my job is to hunt. He comes here, he pets me up, he loves me when I go hunting, when I get done. It's kind of like having a boss, basically.
Relationship.
And so as they get older, they'll understand that correlates decent, still not even a foolproof way of most of can of dog view, because some dogs don't give a crap about people. They'll be like, yeah, pet me when they're feeling it, and then the Jags are the worst. They'll be like, don't touch me, and then still go hunt. And then they'll be like, okay, let me back up. I'm ready to go home. And it's like,
it doesn't matter.
did I take you hunting or did you take me hunting? It's like
a lot of times that's what it winds up being. All you did was give them a ride. That's the way it should be, I think.
Yeah.
I think you just load the dogs up,
go do it.
give them a ride, and when you open that box, drop that tailgate, they should go do what they're supposed to do. Like I said, you know, puppies, it's just one of them deals where either you love it or you hate it. I don't know. I love puppies, but I don't like raising puppies. I like to, you know, after they've done hit, you know, 10 months old.
It can be a real headache.
Yeah, they get to them teenage years from there to, 12 to 16 months old, 18 months old, it's like, oh my Lord, dog will perform like crazy that morning. Next morning, he's over there chasing ladybugs, baying a box turtle.
But
It could be anything, you know.
if you can, let them run around. It doesn't matter what they're really hunting or nothing like that.
No, yeah, just let them go.
Just let them just hunt.
Not on a hunt. We're talking about at the house. Yeah. If you've got some say you've got a few acres of land, or you live out in the country, and your neighbors have some property or something like that, where you can just let the pups run loose, and you don't really worry about them getting run over on the road or anything like that. Hell, let them run loose. They go out there. Say you walk outside, they've been over here tearing stuff up. They got one of you muck boots over there, then chewed it all to pieces. Then they're shitting everywhere. They're fighting nonstop. And then all of a sudden, you go outside and you don't see them, and you hear them. Or you don't hear them, you hear some kind of game over there hollering and screaming where they ain't got a hold of it. That's what you want. If they're running a rat, a rabbit, a bird, a squirrel, a deer, armadillos, anything while they're pups, as long as they're hunting and running, they're taking that natural ability, channeling it, they're harnessing it, and they're using it. If they don't, then they're just running in damn circles in a crate. Is what a lot of people do. They just put them in a crate, and they wind up wanting to be a pet. Well, that's not
like kids. You
it's
gotta
not a
let them be kids. You gotta let them mess up, do some dumb stuff.
They gotta get their bumps and bruises, scrapes. They gotta get all that, because without that, there's no learning in life. It holds, like I said, it holds the same with dogs as it does humans. It's one of those deals where if you, like I said, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. And if you don't like the puppy deal, then you might want to look into getting, like myself, I like a younger dog. We've been blessed enough to be able to have all of them. We've been able to take and raise pups, get them to that stage that I like to mess with them. Usually Nathan's messing with them while they're little pups, and then when they get to be younger dogs, then I'll start messing with them a little bit. And we can keep them. We can keep generations at the same time here at our house.
We have a huge yard from 6 weeks to 8 or 9 years.
13 years. Lily's 13.
Yeah, Lily's oldest. Yeah,
so 13. I think she's the oldest we still got. So anywhere from.
There's a huge difference.
Yeah, and we've got them at all ages in between too. And all different breeds. So, next thing you want to do is you want to determine, are you going to stick with just one breed, one style, or are you going to have catch dogs, bay dogs, and all that? That's really what you need to determine before the puppy, you actually go buy the puppy. So, figure out what you want to do, then figure out if you want to get a puppy.
Find the direction you want to go in.
Find what you want to go in. Ask some people for advice. Don't just think you know it all and just do it all on your own. So, once you get to that part, then you'll have your dog in the race. So, like I said, say you don't want to do the puppies, we'll start out with a younger dog. All right, so now we got to decide we didn't want to do all the puppies. I'm going to go get a younger dog, which Nate's done raised some dogs by now. I'm an older guy. I don't really have a lot of time, so I holler at Nate and I'm like, hey, what kind of young dogs you got? He tells me. So I tell him, I was like, hey, let's go hunting Saturday. We'll go out. We'll hunt with the parents. Same deal. Same rhyme, same reason. All right, decide I want those young dogs. I get the young dogs, bring them home. I don't take them to the woods that day. If that young dog's already started or he's going, and when I talk to him and we go to the woods, that's fine. When I load that dog up and I put him in my truck or whatever, minivan, whatever you're driving, if I put him in that and I bring him home, everything could change. Say we go down there and that dog has been hunting flat ground and swamp bottoms, and we come up here to where I'm at and it's all hills and hollers, mountains, all hard rocky terrain.
He's gonna get winded pretty quick.
Also, it could be like culture shock. I've got a whole bunch of dogs on the yard. He needs to. I always like to let him acclimate a little bit. Bring him home. Let him get out here on the yard. whether you put them on a kennel or chain or however, whatever kind of setup you got, you need to make sure that you have a good setup for what you're doing. I mean, if you've got one of the Jags, you don't need a 3/4 inch log chain that's 16 foot long, with 4 swivels and all this stuff on it. You don't need all that. But if you got a Mastiff or a band dog or a hard game dog, anything like that, that's what you're gonna need on the chain setup. Maybe not those actual dimensions or nothing like that. So, and also you need to check out your local laws, because there's a lot of places you got tether laws.
You live in the city limits or not?
Yep. Kennel sizes. I know theirs was.
I would probably recommend, if you live in the city limits and you're trying to get dog hunts, get the hell out. Because it takes one person to make next couple years of your life ahead.
How many times have we had somebody call and say, "Hey man, they came out to the house. I need some help." And how many times have we brought anywhere from 3
we
to
drove
10
to different
dogs?
States to go get dogs.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. How many times we brought from 3 to 10 dogs here and kept them? Nothing wrong with the dogs. Dogs are in great shape, great health. They just, they live in a subdivision, and you cannot have...
Somebody can't keep their nose in their own business.
And that's going to happen everywhere you live. I mean, anywhere, any part of the country, there's always going to be old Karen over there. What they call them now, Karen?
Oh, yeah.
Karen or something, they're going to be
best
over
thing
there.
to do is make sure your dogs are always in good health. If they're not, baby them and keep up with your receipts, so you can show, hey,
don't be scared to go to the vet either.
No.
You don't have to go to the vet for every little thing on it, but like we're in the field, something happens, they get cut, or we got to staple them up. Okay, that's fine, but
talk to your old buddy, talk to Leroy, see what vet they use, see if you can find a vet that's a little bit.
Well, he understands. He understands what a working dog is.
Yeah.
Because there's some vets that don't understand what a working dog is, and I've run into that. But anyway, okay, back to the young dogs. We got them at the house. All right, we let them acclimate a couple weeks or days, however long it takes them. Every dog's different. Personality's different. So then we take them out, see how they do with another dog in the box. See if you can box them together, because some dogs
I'd probably suggest
just don't.
Hunting them or walking them a couple times.
I like to turn them loose right here in the yard first to see, hey, if they're going to act a fool or whatever, and I like to put that old button on them too.
Yeah,
that way they know who the boss is, and you can make their life you can make your life a lot easier by just taking a little bit of time and putting a handle on that dog. Because young dogs like that, if somebody's raising them out of a litter, they got a whole litter of young dogs. They're not spending that individual time, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you can't do that. You cannot focus all that time and energy into a litter of 10 pups and give each dog the same amount of time. Hunt your old dogs, hunt your young dogs, your starter dogs, and all that. You can't do all that. So that's the part I like to do. I like to put a handle on that dog. I like to take somebody's dog that, that has a lot of promise, and I say somebody's dog, our own dogs, whatever. I like to take it where they'll load up. When I whistle or holler, I can holler them in. I can get them to come on in when it's time to go.
To you. We can work on the loading up thing as the years progress.
Exactly. Because now a lot of times we hunted out of a trailer for years, and I've got some dogs that they won't load up in the back of a truck hardly.
They're weird.
But on a trailer, they're
Ranger. They'll jump right in the
Ranger or a trailer, hell, they jump right in it. But back of a truck, they're like, I don't know. Then we had I don't know how many years, I guess past 2 years we hadn't hunted off of a dog trailer as much.
Dogs tore it up.
Yeah, well, dogs are rough on stuff, and we're rebuilding this one now. Because you can go buy one and spend $1,000 on some kind of home, basically a homemade deal, and you can spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a production model of some kind. Like I said, the handle part to me, I like to have that dog to where I'm in the woods. I don't have to have a lead on the dog. We don't use walk-in catch dogs ourselves anymore. I mean, every now and then we'll have some, but they're all going to be running kicks. But we will use them kind of like a walk-in. We'll get within 100 yards or so and bump them out. That works for us. It doesn't work for everybody. There's some places you cannot turn that dog loose. Texas and South Texas, that the places we have been, if that hog's in there bait up 100 yards inside that black brush and stuff like that, good luck. I'm gonna tell you right now, that stuff is thick. It will bite you. It will stick you. It will stab you. You're gonna bleed. So, you'd have to be right on top of it. Other places we've hunted, certain places like river bottoms, man, it's wide open woods. I can cut that dog loose. I can see it at 150, 200 yards. I can cut that dog loose and let him hit it, and everything still be safe because we can be running right behind it to get to it. Like I said, I just like to have that good handle on mine. I don't know, and I used to deal.
Makes your life easier.
Yeah, well, you remember we used to deal with a lot of dog aggression.
Now, it ain't got to be able to sit and all that, because most of that stuff's good if you got an inside dog, but
yeah. But I know a lot of guys, they're catch dogs, man, or they have I don't know, I guess it's different, like with the bulldogs and the pits, dogos and things like that, it's almost like some of the catch dogs they are pets, which I mean all of them are pet to a certain degree, but they're also
stock. It's always
stock.
different to me because like catch dog, most likely dog to get killed most of the time, and that's the one they're babying and putting the most time into, which seems kind of odd to me. Versus because most people go through a catch dog 3 to 5 years.
Every couple of years.
Where a lot of people can get a 10 years out of a bay dog pretty reasonably.
Yeah, well, exactly. If it's got any sense to it. We don't have any like that. Ours don't have any sense.
We got a couple that kind of bay by
they're
themselves,
psychotic,
but not with other dogs.
No. Oh, if there's anything else there, it's not going to be. And that's the thing. The ones that we run, we bred them for this. It's it's our own fault. We had to evolve with the hogs because the hogs are evolving constantly. So you got to keep that in mind. The area that you're hunting, that pertains back to what kind of dog that you need. So you're going to get into. Now we're going to get into you got to get into like breeds of dogs, styles of dogs, types of dogs. All right, you done figured out this is how to buy a puppy. This is how to get a young dog. Kind of, a lot of this, I know it sounds like we're going backwards or whatever, but I was trying to give you the gist of it. So now that you've got your first stuff out of the way, you figure what you want to do, now you're going to get serious with it. You're going to get you a pack of dogs. And you have figured out that, all right, black-mouth curs work better for you, and you need one that's a medium-range dog, and it needs to be rough.
First thing I would recommend if you're going to build a pack of dogs, look at how much land you have and the layout of your land.
Yeah.
If you can hunt a 10,000 acre spot of mountainous land, you can run open dogs on it. But if you only got 1,000 acres
or
less, 500 to 1,000 in spots, it's probably a lot harder to run them open dogs because you get on a ranked board, you're going to run it plumb out of the country, and you're going to have to deal with trespassing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was getting to with the style of dog. Exactly what he said. Medium range dogs, short range dogs, long range dogs. You got open, silent. You can go. There's a whole list of them, and we're going to go through that. Like I said, this is going to be a several part series. We started out for the beginner, and we're going to get into where we're at now. Is okay. We got you some dogs. Want some black-mouth curs. We want something we don't have a lot of land to hunt, so we've got a couple thousand acres. It's enough land to go hunt comfortably, but you don't want a dog that's gonna go yonder. And everybody has different terminology, I guess. All right, short range dog here is 0 to 300 or 400 yards.
Yeah, I'd say 350 comfortably.
Yeah. All right, and I mean that dog will stay. I like one that if you're going to walk hunt it and you've got 500 acres, there you go. Start out with something like that. Get you one, and if it's a dead silent, just hard mouth dog, that's what I like. It can be a rough cur of any kind. Hell, I've had a lot of pits that were, they were good. They were better short range dogs than than anything. You could turn them loose. They were going to go hunt a couple of hundred yards, 200, 300, 400 yards, come back, check in, go out, and just keep walking, making progress like that. And usually if they ran up on something, they were a hot-nosed dog, so the track had to be fresh within an hour. And, you know, usually with that amount of time, as fresh as that track is, that dog's only going to have to go a short distance to find that pig. And when he finds it, bam, he's going to catch it. There's not going to be a bunch of bay in or anything like that with a rough style dog like that. More, you know, run and catch style. And so if you've got, say you've got over a couple thousand acres of land, get into the medium range, you want you to get you some cur dogs, that's fine. You could have one that bumps every now and then, opens up some, you know, and they can be more rough bay, which means that they'll put teeth on that hog and make him stop and sit there.
Cow dog.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Or then if you want to get in, if you've got, like they said, 10,000 acres or more, you can get a long range plot hound, walker dog, whatever.
1,000
turn that son
yards
to let him go.
To miles where they hunt.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't believe that shit. Okay, so now here's what we're gonna go. We're gonna say we're gonna walk you through short range, medium, long range, the dog's openness or non-openness. All right, so we got short range dogs 0 to 300 to 400 yards, medium range dogs 400 to 800, 900.
Yeah, bumping 1,000.
All right, 1,000 yards plus is a long range dog. Then you got some that go yonder.
Yeah.
There's no stop. They just keep going.
We've had one go yonder dog.
And I didn't like
No.
the dog put meat on the table consistently every single time.
Too much for us.
Jesus, let me tell you something. This son of a gun in relay.
Yeah, I think we need to cover that bottom relay.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing as hunting, but
Yeah, exactly. All right, so you got
the bottom.
we got those short, medium, and long range dogs, and the go yonder dogs, what we call them. Like I said, everybody's got different terminology. You got a silent dog. Silent dog, he's not going to bark on track. What we call silent, I mean, they don't ever bark. I mean, for us, you know, but they're running catch dogs. They're not bay dogs. If you have a silent bay dog, he's going to be silent until he's on that hog's ass, until he gets right there. And I've only had a couple of those, and I really have had them to where they did not bark unless the hog stopped and posted. That hog did not post up, even if they were running on its ass right there, they were not barking. They only barked when it turned around. Then you've got what I call semi-silent. Then they have semi-open and open. That's just us. I don't know how everybody else feels about it. A silent dog's not barking. An open dog is barking all the time. Yeah. He's barking as soon as he strikes and runs. Just constant. All right. A semi-open dog would mean that he would bark a little less. He would probably bark every 20 or 30 yards, or even 100 yards. Every 100 yards or so, he would let open up. Then what I call a semi-silent dog is one that just bump every now and then. Every 200 or 300 yards, he'll open up. 400, 500 yards, he'll just open up. And then when he starts getting a little hotter, he'll open up more. That's what I call a semi-silent, because he's more silent than open. And then you have the semi-open, which is more silent than open.
Then you have.
I know it sounds like a bunch of bullshit right there.
Then you have like a weird crossover, like kind of like when they start cutting a track and it starts getting hot.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just hunting, but when they're on track, like a lot of our jags do it. Like especially the Dixieland lineage, they'll bark 3 times.
2 or 3 times, and that's it.
And that's all you'll hear until if they're
on
baying,
it.
It's a big hog and it's in between bites.
Yeah.
They're going to put teeth
usually
on
they're putting teeth on it, or like we got a few younger dogs in this last couple of generations. I've noticed they squeal a little bit more if they're seeing the pig. If they're running there and they're right on it, which I can deal with that part where we're at. You know, we can deal with that as long as they're looking at it, because we drop.
We've been told
the high terriers, Airedales, some of the crosses that we have. We drop them on the ground once the smaller dog strikes, takes track, starts running. We put the running catch dogs on the ground. And the running catch dogs that we have, I mean, they got a nose on them. You know, they're as good a track dog as anything that we've ever had. But
the dog,
they don't
get
bang.
experience. They'll know, hey, I can't figure out this hog track.
Parker, don't be shaking the damn camera. That's our camera guy. Parker's over there kicking the damn camera and shaking. If y'all see any little shaking in our footage. But anyway, like I said, it all depends on the terrain that you have, the type of land, the amount of land, and the style of hunting that you want to do. I know a guy right now that he was running more silent dogs, and now he's into wide open dogs. Right, now you got, all right, so we got these, you got these dogs out. You need to know what the difference is between hunting and bottom. You hear a lot of guys talk about, well, that dog's got a lot of bottom to it, or that dog's got a lot of hunt to it. You know, there's a difference in it. You know, bottom's a whole different thing. If the hunt part, the dog goes out, hunts, finds a track, runs it. He might run that track for 20 minutes. Okay, if he doesn't come up with nothing, he might quit that track and come back. But if that dog has enough bottom, he'll stick that track, stay with it. He'll work that track, he'll move it, and that's bottom. If he stays with it and it's a 5-mile race and it takes 3 hours, and he puts at the end of the rainbow, he's got it caught or bait, whichever, whatever, that's bottom. Hunt is the ability, you know, or it's what it is. It's hunt. It's get off your ass, get up, go work, and find a track.
And that correlates with your range.
Yep.
Where bottom is, okay, so he usually hunts.
Go ahead.
Okay, so he usually hunts, say you got a short range dog, he's hunting, averaging 250 yards out, he's making his loops or whatever. He strikes a hog, but he runs the hog a mile. So he's a short range dog with a lot of bottom to it, because he'll stick with that hog. Then you can even go to relay, which is, it correlates with both of hunting and bottom, kinda. So after you get the pig killed, a lot of times like that over yonder dog, get out there dog that we had, after you would kill the hog, or he would see the catch dog and see.
Yeah, he didn't wait. Some dogs will wait until the hog's killed, and then they'll take off.
Seen that the hog was caught. There he goes again.
He was a loose bay dog too, and that's,
yes.
You got to get into that. You got rough bay dogs, which, like we talked about a while ago, they'll put teeth on it, stop it, make it work.
Working like a cow dog.
Yep, and then you'll have a loose bay dog, which they'll stand back.
I'd say 4 to 8 feet.
They'll live a lot longer, but they don't work very well where we're at because they don't. Because we live in all these mountains, I don't know. They'll walk that hog. That hog would just keep walking.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's even one that's a little bit more extreme where they stand even farther back, and that hog walks bad.
I don't have a lot of experience with that. Well, I have a good bit of experience from when I first started hunting with them, but that's been years ago. The hogs changed, started running. We had to shut them down. Clay Austin, Aaron Schenkel, Roger Wright, Dwayne, Headley, Adam Brown. Those guys right there, I learned a lot from them. They and the way to breed a dog up to make it do what you wanted it to do. It took a lot of years, and most of those guys, most of them are still hunting, but some of them, life happened, and after decades of hunting, they got out of it, and I was thankful enough, or lucky enough, to have been a friend of them, and so I was gifted a lot of the dogs and a lot of stuff like that, and carried out, and I've never got rid of one of them, not one time. Never sold one, not one time. They've all lived and died right here at the house or in the woods. That's one of those deals that when you get a dog from somebody, that's what this whole series, this segment is about, getting dogs. So if you get a dog from somebody, make sure that you're clear on every detail. If you get a dog from me, I don't sell dogs. I mean, very seldom will I sell any kind of dog. That's just me. There's nothing wrong with doing it. Hey, wear it out. but I just don't. I just, because I don't really breed very often. When we do, we breed all our stuff for ourselves to keep our line here and, to use it and work it. But I'll give somebody a dog. If a young guy that's getting started and somebody has recommended him, or some friends of mine, I'll send them whatever, and they do the same thing to us. To me, they send. I get dogs sent to me all the time. But every one of us, we make sure that the other one knows, hey, this pup is really doing good, or hey, this pup is not worth a damn. And if that pup ain't worth a damn, don't give it to somebody else. You cull it, because I would want you to do that. And so if you get a dog from somebody, you treat it just like it's yours. I just don't. You don't get them. If somebody gives you one, you don't get it and go sell it. There are people that do that. They're dog jockeys. They peddlers. If say you give them a dog that you would normally get $1,000 a pup, and they take that dog and that dog's already started and working and hunting. They're like, well, hell, I can get $1,500, $2,000 out of this dog, and they sell it. If you didn't tell them the stipulations, then that's on you. But I make sure to be clear with everybody.
Don't sell it. Don't breed it.
You don't breed this dog without talking to me. You don't sell this dog without talking to me. I'm not being an ass like that. I'm just saying these are the basics. We go over it. But most of the people they asked, they were like, well, I was like, hey, if you can't take care of the dog, let me know. Because there might be somebody else that's wanting one. I've got people that's waiting for 2 or 3 years at a time to get a dog from us. And that guy might, he might be in a position to where he can get it. And you might be in a position to where you don't have the time to put into it like you thought you would. The dog could be a little too extreme for you.
I know we'll respect that decision more than anything.
Yeah, just don't just put it up for sale. Let me see it on Facebook or something. 'Cause then we'll
don't
be pissed
get us
off.
around.
Yeah, and that's anybody. So don't do that to anybody. Make sure all that stuff's clear. Because it don't take long in the dog world to get a bad name if you're going to just get dogs and sell them and just be a damn puppy mill or basically like a damn used car salesman. You get a dog and just pawn it off on somebody else. So that. But back to the dog part. What style of hunting do you do? Also, you need to think about that. Are you gonna walk hunt everything like we were talking about with the short range dogs? That works pretty good like that. Or do you road hunt, walk hunt? Do you free cast your dogs? Do you cast them in a certain direction? Do you hunt them off the hood of a truck or off of a box? Let them wind, let them rig hunt it. So we got to strip it back down to basics. A lot of folks don't understand. This is like basically a how-to video from us or whatever. But so rig hunting is, as for a wind dog, a dog that uses its nose, that'll throw his nose up instead of putting it on a track and running that track. You can be riding down the road, go to a hunting club, ease around, let that dog ride on the box or on the hood or on top of the truck, trailer, whatever. And if he smells a hog, he's going to throw that head up and he's going to bark. Then you can turn him loose. If you're going to walk hunt him, like we were talking about, you get out, take off walking, just ease up a little ways, let your dogs take off. They're basically like a short cast. Let those dogs go up. Let them make their loops or lines or however they're going to do it. They'll come back, check in, walk on up another few hundred yards. Just keep working your way up like that, and it works out good. I've caught a lot of hogs like that. Road hunting them. It's kind of like the rig hunt deal, but you just put your dogs on the road, ease down. And I don't mean the damn highway, okay? So don't do that.
Like hunting club road.
Yeah, gravel roads or whatever,
Public road.
You want to
and like
no
management
road.
In a management area is what I meant.
Yeah. Still, it don't matter. There's rules and regulations on that. Check all those first.
Know your rules and regulations on everything.
Just let the dogs run down the road, trot in front of you, and
usually they'll cut the track. You'll see them
dip off. They'll dip off, and usually they'll go. Depending on the dog, a lot of times it's going to be a hotter track. I found that to work better. And then casting, you can cast a dog. Hounds do really good. Curs, they do really good at it. You just take your dogs, get them out of the truck, get them to the direction that you want them to go. Let the dogs, you take off walking, as soon as they start, you stop, let the dogs go. I'm not the best, I don't have the best cast dogs. I know some guys, I've had some that were good, but like I said, we've changed different styles, 2 or 3 different times. So I found that if you're casting a dog, the best thing to do, like I just said, you get the dog, one person do it. Let them take off, walk just a little piece in the direction you want the dogs to go. Let the dogs take off. Let them get on out there. Make sure nobody's talking. Everybody be quiet. Let the dogs go on and do that, because especially if you got younger dogs that are just learning how to cast good, say they get out there about 75 yards and they're going the direction you want, and then Billy Bob over here hollers, "Hey, hand me a beer."
Yeah.
Well, that damn
dogs don't speak English.
That pup is probably going to turn around and come back. We have had an issue a couple of hunts here. We have a dog that we acquired. It's just it's not working out. She'll cast, take off, man. All the other dogs will take off, and she'll lead them. Man, she'll go. Boom, they're gone. 200, 300 yards. She turns around, and the other dogs turn around. She's more, because she's leading them. It ain't took but a couple of hunts, and that I've had enough of that. So that she's not going to be in our pack on that part. So you got to watch all that kind of stuff too. Pay attention to other dogs as well, because you cannot base what one dog's performance is if he's hunting with a whole pack. Because you got, everybody says, "Well, I got a lead dog."
Take him hunting by himself.
Take him hunting by
show you
himself.
if he's a lead dog.
Yep. Take all of them by themselves.
Or if he's a Me Too dog.
Yep. I know a good friend of mine. He had 2 Jags, and he sold one of them. And after that, he hardly ever caught a hog again, because he thought that was the Me Too dog. I mean, he thought that was the Me Too dog, and that was actually the lead dog. Even though they ran together all the time.
A lot of times it look like they're a Me Too dog, but some dogs, especially after they get experience under the belt, like that yellow dog that Rodney's got, she'll actually circle when she goes out hunting. If no dogs follow her,
she'll come back.
She'll come back and keep walking around, and she'll like brush up against them, like get their attention.
Yeah, like
trying to draw them in, and actually then.
She's one of the very few I've ever seen that she will come back and get those dogs and take them hunting.
Yeah, she's a good solid. Short, medium range. She's at that fine lap over line.
She's a more shorter range dog, but if she strikes though, I mean, she'll stick with it. Now she's got some bottom.
Yeah.
And that's the part that we were talking about with the bottom. It's like, even though she only hunts out to 300 or 400 yards,
she's gonna go as far as she can go with that hog.
If it takes all night, she's gonna stay there. And there has been some all nights. Been a few of them. I guess we get into some different kind of breeds of dogs,
and what how they typically correlate with these styles and our experience with
for us. Everything that we're saying
ain't nothing set in stone, baby.
Has been worked. Well, it's set in stone from us.
Yes, our stone, our
because and all the breeds that we mentioned or we're talking about, we have owned these. We have hunted them. We currently own most of the breeds. There's quite a few. We own a lot of them. A lot of different breeds, and we do a lot of different crosses. Specific crosses for specific types of hunting to put the meat on the damn tailgate.
Yeah, we try to have a variation of styles of dogs.
Yeah.
So no matter what kind of property we go to, we can perform, baby. Or we can at least take one dog and chip it in the race with other people.
Oh yeah, because like we hunt with a guy, a good friend of ours, Rodney. He's got some of the best cast dogs. He's got 3. They're really good dogs. We catch a lot of hogs together. It's hard to run rough dogs with just regular bay dogs, or a bay dog that's not real rough. And we have made it work. It was the first season that we hunted together. It was a little bumpy. His dogs were taking a little more damage, than they normally ever would have. So, kind of held back, and we found we had a couple dogs that are good bay dogs, and they're a little bit rougher, and they wound up working real good together. Ours didn't cast as far, But I tell you what, after hunting them for 2 or 3 hunts, we've got a couple out there
Yeah,
that
Charlie casts good.
Susie.
King's
Susie's
he'll
doing
cast good too.
Yeah, but that, you know,
He'll just hunt.
well, you got to be careful just casting them because they don't bay. I'm talking about the ones that are baying.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah,
So,
the other ones that are, those right there, they're going to go hunt. Those dogs, there's not an issue with them at all. That's some real deal high performance shit right there. Those are some of our high terriers. You put them on the ground, they go, and there ain't no stopping. I mean, it ain't no stopping. The only time you stop is when you're killing something. They have really worked good for us. Some people, they don't care for them. There's not a lot of people that have them. Ours are on the larger side. They're more of an Airedale style dog. I really like them. But like I said, back with the ones that obey, mountain curs work great around this area. Parker curs, which of course, you got the black mount curs, Catahoulas and stuff. I know some guys right now that are hunting Catahoulas and they're doing, I mean, they just wear it, they're doing great. I've got Catahoulas from some of the best lines that you can get, and they do all right. I don't know if it's just the way that we hunt or whatever, just a couple of dogs that we wound up getting, but they don't have.
Catahoulas to me are hit or miss.
Yeah, I mean it's like, but that's only the ones that we've had. Like
that's our experience.
Well, we haven't had a lot of them either. We've only had, just a handful, and like I said, but blackmouth cur we've really done pretty good with them. But like I said, the mountain cur, the original mountain cur, them son bitches right there.
Good.
They make it happen. They will, and it's weird because we get a lot of silent ones.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them are silent. We've got quite a few over the years that were started out as squirrel dogs, but they wouldn't bark. So hey,
we got a good buddy.
Yeah,
we got a good buddy. We do some swapping. He'd be like, "This one ain't gonna make a squirrel dog. She's too rough or too hard."
Or they just catch hogs while they're squirrel hunting. So
yeah,
that's usually the ones I like to get.
Yeah.
And they work out pretty good. We hunt a lot of terriers because we hunt a lot of cutovers and a lot of new growth and stuff. It is thick. So those little dogs, they work pretty good in it,
Yeah. They can work like a big one can.
Yeah, but now I know a lot of guys like with the Yak Terriers and the Patterdales and stuff. They see them little pocket rockets and everybody wants one. They want one. Well, I've had them for years and years. I can tell you, hunting one with a pack of curs,
You're going to get it killed.
well, you're gonna get your other dogs killed. You ain't gonna catch no damn hogs. It ain't gonna do them but bust a bay if you got bay dogs. Because most of the time they gonna go in there and try it. And I'll be honest with you, if that jag don't go in there and try it, well, you got a watered down one. Because everyone, I mean, they better go in there and do what they're supposed to do. And I mean, they can make some fine bay dogs. I won several bay pen competitions with Yak Terriers. Cody Fritz, hell, he's won down there in Upper Earls with it. That's the granddaddy of them all on that. Who else? Ryan Goodman. And then we acquired that dog later on. We've had some good ones.
James has played.
Oh yeah, Hank
William Burns.
Yeah.
Paul Greenwood.
Yep.
All
And
the
then
fellas.
we've but I like I said, we lean toward more. All ours are mostly rough, real rough running. We're gonna be running catch dogs, one of the two. Hounds, man, I love hounds. I love to hear a race. I love to hear that son of a bitch just boom, just boom. I'm talking about just wearing it out. But that hog hears him, and that son of a gun
It's
is
on his
gone.
Nikes.
They got the Nikes tied up, and here you go. And you're easy. I mean, I ain't saying you can't catch them, because you can catch them, but
Got a hound with the bottom.
usually it's gonna take all night just to catch one hog. So we don't really run a lot of hounds. Like I said, we run a lot of crosses. We cross all kinds of stuff. Catahoula bulldogs, now that's where that Catahoula shines. Bird dogs, bird
You
bulls.
mix a Catahoula.
Shit. Anything
Nice.
you put that Catahoula in, to me works good. I like the Catahoula blackmouth. Just crossing in. That's made a good one.
Usually, anytime you mix curs, it can add
Hounds does. I noticed that with hounds.
Hounds, yeah. They
You take like the bear hunters, deer hunters,
yeah,
fox hunters.
some of them hounds are just like you're talking about running a 10-mile race and running 15 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour. That's impressive.
Crazy. Which, like I said, now, I don't keep up with a whole lot of that, but I do know that, like I said, if you got a dog that's moving the track at a steady 8 miles an hour, so, 8 to 9 miles an hour, I mean that he can shut that hog down. He can do that a hell of a lot quicker than you can a dog that's running 4 to 5 miles an hour, 4 to 6 miles an hour. An hour makes a big difference in it. And you take an hour and he's done running 6 miles, you can have a 1 hour race. Or if that son of a gun is running 4 miles an hour and that hog ran 6 miles, you're going to have an hour and a half race.
6 miles an hour or 13 miles an hour, that's the difference between an hour race and a 30-minute race.
They ain't going to be many of them pushing 13.
Theoretically. No, not in the hills.
No.
Flatland, more feasible. But it's going to have to have...
that's going to be a lot of pen runners probably.
Yes.
But like I said, out here in Oakland, I tell you, we need to see if we can get Pat.
Yeah, I'm way out of my league even trying.
Yeah, no, I don't need Mike Sapp. He's another one. Mike Sapp, that's something he knows.
Jason and Chad Leonard, they know a lot about their running dogs.
Yeah, a lot of coyote hunters, fox hunters, bobcat hunters. Them dudes right there. Now they know the hound stuff.
And somebody that's a very secluded group, bobcat hunters. It's like
oh yeah. If you're gonna go buy a bobcat dog, number one, good luck finding one. Number two, just go buy your new truck. It costs the same.
Yeah, take a loan out from the bank.
Yeah.
Like, look, my wife got medical bills because it's.
Yeah, because that shit's gonna cost you.
I don't know what it is, but because you can find mountain lion dogs.
Yeah.
Easier than you can bobcat dogs, which is strange to me. I don't know.
Well, I guess they run the way they run. And like I said, I'm out of my league because I don't know. That's something we've treated bobcats with coon dogs, and it's a bobcat.
And that's a hard track, because
dude, we had a blue tick.
You gotta have a smart dog to figure
trash
that
can sound.
Trash can sound.
I had some guns on blue tick. Let me tell you what, big old gas gun, red dog. This son of a bitch would take off, and you knew he was on the cat because he was gonna go. He'd hit one of these privet head thickets or something like that, and it would tree, and he'd stay there and stay and stay and stay. And as soon as we got right close enough to where you could shine and see it, boom. Hit the ground, go again. Wouldn't go but a couple 100 yards, but it was real thick stuff, short trees. Never did have one in a tall tree. We live in Alabama, and I mean, we got some big ass trees.
Yeah.
We got some old virgin timber, big
It's
growth.
either old growth or cutovers.
Cutover, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, though, you get in any of those kind of things, you can take any of these dogs that we said, and you can make them. You ain't gonna make them, but you can get them and use them to hunt anything. Whether
you can't make a dog do something. You got to kind of.
You can guide
training dogs is like coaching.
Natural ability.
Natural ability and trying to figure it out. Because like we was talking about with bobcat dogs, they got to be a smart dog. You can't have a dog that just is a big old jughead that runs around and just wants to hit stuff.
Well, they got to have drive. They got to go and they got to think. Some talking about the coyote hunters, fox hunters and stuff. Lurchers.
Yes.
Bull lurchers, greyhounds, staghounds, deerhounds, wolfhounds. These dogs, they have a place in the hog dog world. They have a place right here in my yard. There ain't no doubt. The bull lurcher, love it. I love the dog. They're thin skinned, but
they have a longer recovery time.
Yeah.
But they're putting so much effort into running.
They're fast.
And burning a lot of calories.
I know a lot of. I was always told, you don't run them in the woods where there's fences and stuff like that. We've had them take off and go straight to the woods. Yeah. And I was scared to death the first couple years that
I would agree with the fences though.
Yeah, the fence. You got barbed wire fence or something out there that you can't see real good. Don't run them in that because he ain't gonna be around no more.
Yeah, 40 miles an hour. It's like it's a car. It's a go-kart wreck.
But now the stags, I've heard some guys they don't care for them. They can't stand them.
They have a good personality. They can be.
I like them.
they have that pit personality, but not like the pit or something like that where they're so jealous.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get pissed off at you and chew up all your
Yeah.
shoes or something.
And you know, that's like the Airedales. The Airedales, they remind me of an Airedale that, you know, to an extent.
That
Some of the
that's
old,
not as chewy.
some of the old Airedales, old stock. You know, that's Airedale's one of the best dogs to me
Which I know.
that's ever been produced. But you know, it's just like anything else. They take it and they publicize it, and then they make it a show dog, and then
Fur mom that out it.
Fur Mama's got that big old 80-pound Airedale sitting on the couch, and it's got barrettes in its hair and all that stuff. I've got some pretty good sized Airedales that they ain't got no barrettes. Their earrings, they hang on to, you know. They do a good job catching as any dog I've ever had. They will stick with it, won't let go. And then I've had them to where they would hit that track, and they had all the bottom in the world, and they were silent. And I mean, they're
Airedale's like a Catahoula. It's on
Yeah.
a curve. Anytime you add that in, you're adding a lot of good attributes. They
Yes.
have great bone structure, and they have a lot of mental capacity too.
Yes.
They're pretty
The
thoughtful
maturity
dogs.
level on some of these
They
dogs.
mature slow though. That's what I would say the downfall would be.
Yep, because we've had to take, and I mean the first few times we did some crosses, you know, like I said, we hunt a lot of the Jags. They usually come out when they're born. They're ready to attack something, and they're ready to
We've
hunt.
literally had them come
Yeah,
out,
they growl.
licking the placenta off growling.
Yeah, I mean, just it's crazy. But like I said, they're wide open. They're crazy. They're blah blah blah, just bouncing off the wall. So you cross them with the Airedale or something of the sort like that, and it kind of tones that litter down. But depending on the mother, to me, the female is going to determine my breeding every time. Every time. The male, yeah, he plays a big role in it. You know, 2 champions can throw a whole litter of culls.
Yep.
Doesn't matter. And 2 culls can throw a whole litter of champions. If you got 2 really good dogs, the chances of producing really good dogs is a lot higher.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's going to happen. You know, especially every single time. Consistency, you know, if you're, because you hear guys, they're like, every pup out of that litter made a dog. Made a good dog. And I mean, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Especially if they do it pretty consistent. It's like, you know, it's
that
like
means they
them.
have really managed their breeding program very
Yeah.
well.
They didn't let just whatever.
That
But
and a little bit of
now,
luck.
that's a lot of luck. Because I've had accidental breedings, you know, come outside, the damn neighbor's dog is hung up with it. It's like, oh my God. But I've actually had, years ago, I actually had a litter of those, and which I think there are only like 2 of them lived. And they both turned out to be great dogs.
Which,
you
you
know,
Cody Snipes, Nigerian Dogo.
He found that dog around an old abandoned house, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Dog's name is Trouble. Let me tell you something. That son would go get it. That dog was just happy to have somebody care for him and feed him. You know, he got him when he was a puppy and threw him out there with the other dogs. Man, that son of a gun is, I mean, he made a top hand. Which, like I said, you hear that all the time. Catch dogs, pit bulls. There's a difference in the American Pit Bull Terrier and a pit bull and a bulldog and all that. Now, everybody uses the term bulldog.
It's kind of like a cur dog.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's a
Very
cur
broad
dog.
term. It's smeared over a
Yeah.
lot of breeds.
Used to that pissed me off so bad. Now I'm even doing it. You know, it's like, because the purist in me wants to make sure we still got the old classic style game dog lines. You hear a lot of people say, "Oh man," and I'm talking about now, younger guys. "Oh, that's a Jeep Niggerino dog. That dog come off of, that's all Boudreaux stuff or this and that." I'm like, how do you know? Well, look at him. He looks
Them
just,
dogs
he
been
looks
dead
like
20
that.
years.
Shit, hell, way longer than that. I mean, you're talking about dog. I mean, you get into stuff. One guy told me he said it's off of Colby's dime. I said, man, that dog's 75 years old. What's wrong with you? Oh, no, Twister. I was like, come on, you talking about back in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, it's a great.
They don't even, and a lot of hog hunters. I noticed that a lot of hog dog guys that's why they're into the hog hunting thing, is because they were game dog guys.
It's still a pretty straight up contact sport when it comes to the
exactly,
dog.
because you can't let some of the dogs do what they were born and bred to do. So you got to find another outlet, and it works good. So okay, you got the American Pit Bull Terrier, game dog. You got your designer dogs, what I call them.
Pet bull.
Your pet bull. I've got one in the house, 95 pounds.
They make good pets.
He's one of the best. But I guarantee you come touch that doorknob, you're going to know he's there. Now, he might lick you to death, but he'll scare the shit out of you because he's so big, but he's a great dog. Then, like, I got another one that's right there in the front yard. He's an English Bull Terrier. A little bit different.
Yeah.
Now, they have done the same thing. They've bred these dogs for looks. That big old Roman nose, big round water head. I mean, it's disgusting. Why would you do that to that? That's not the way that dog looks. It's not the way that dog's supposed to look. Those dogs are gladiators, man. I mean, they're. Well, I'm gonna put some pictures and stuff up in here, or take some video and show you, what the style that they should look like. And even the ones that we got are still not what they started out as. Of course, we can't have that. We gotta try to. All we can do is try to keep what we got alive and keep it bred as close as possible. Keep that lineage to what it should be. We line breed everything. Try to keep it to what we have, and always improving every time. Don't just do it. Breed it just because it's there. Got your American Bulldogs. I hadn't had an American in a long time. I like the American Bulldog. Know some guys that have had some that are fantastic. Fantastic. Johnson, Scott bloodlines. Always make, that's some of the bigger names in it. Then you got your band dogs. Band dogs, there's, they're a molluster.
A much larger dog.
Yeah, they're
English Bulldog, or even bigger.
Oh, yeah. Or
American Bulldog.
Yeah, American Bulldog.
My bad.
Band dogs are 100 pounds plus. Some of them bigger, 140, 150.
Long dog.
Cane Corsos, Mastiffs, all these are kind of in the same family, the molluster family. Dogo Argentina. I've got one out here. He's not a great big dog like his brothers and sisters and his parents. He was the run of the litter. He looks like a 65 pound game.
Oh yeah, he would pass as a
now, he is a
game
fireball though. I mean, he's definitely a game, ain't no doubt. Amstaffs, American Staffordshire Terrier. There's a difference between them and the APBT. A lot of people say, "Oh, that's the same dog." Man, it's a totally different dog. Amstaffs are a lot smaller, shorter, broader, bigger head, wider mouth.
Like the difference between a Patterdale and a game pit.
Yeah, there's big differences in it. Those are some of the catch dog styles there. It all depends on what you want, what you like, what works for you. Because I know a lot of guys that they're gonna be like, I like the way that dog looks, and they're gonna base it off of that, and they're gonna love that dog until they use it, and then they realize, well, this dog is not what I need. Like
I can't handle this dog at home.
Well, yeah, okay. For catch dog, you go in with a walk-in catch dog, and say you go get what's them little gremlins dogs? They're bulldog pit bulls, but they're not. They're not a bully. Dang, okay. I don't remember anyway. The little short leg mini bull dogs or whatever. There's some cool looking little dogs, but you can't vest that dog up and turn him loose and let him run 100 yards into a catch, and then him grab a 300-pound hog and shut it down. If it does happen, you're one of the very few, I'm sure, and I'd like to see it. I'm not saying you're lying. I love watching work.
Yeah, you're not gonna bring
an
English Bulldog and catch a hog with it, but an English Bull Terrier, different.
It's a whole different deal. You hunt the swamps.
Probably gonna want a leg of your
you
dog.
want a leg of your dog. You hunt the hills, you probably gonna want a leg of your dog. You know, so that's where the crosses come in. Bird bulls, man, love them bird bulls.
Bird dog's a good thing to cross to.
Yeah, you can take any kind of, not just any dog, but any kind of monster breed, which would be a pit, band dog, or English bull terrier, or Amstaff, or whatever. Cross it with a bird dog.
You create some
When
really
we
nice
say
running
bird
catch
dog,
dogs.
we say bird dog, we're not talking about a cocker spaniel. We're talking like an English pointer, or a wire hair pointer, or short hair,
Yeah.
German short hair pointer, or something like that. You know,
Or
something
even
with
a
a
larger setter.
deep chest, long legs, something with some stamina. I like adding it because they throw that nose up. Man, I love a dog that do that.
Yeah,
Like,
it
if he
puts,
just
it
trots
puts the
and just
winding,
throws
it
that
puts the
head
winding ability into it. And when you're
Yeah.
hunting those cutovers and stuff like that,
Oh,
you got a real
shit.
swirling wind.
Yeah.
Sometimes that track is not as good, and plus there's scent everywhere because the hog's
Oh.
running through briars. So
Well, yeah.
it's not just a track; it's a track, like a 3-dimensional plane instead of 2D. So he can pick his head up and follow the
And-
strongest
Exactly.
trail of scent.
You know, we learned a lot when we were going to, we went to a high fence. We was going to go over there. And first time I went, I was like, yeah, hell, we'll go. And it was like, I think 500 acres, high fenced. I thought, well, I said, we'll go over here and I'll get these dogs tuned up because deer season was fixing to be over with, da-da-da. Man, we went over there and I didn't think we'd done that great. We actually had caught more hogs there than anybody had ever caught. But I think the only reason we done that is because our dogs, that's the way they hunted. They hunted with their head up and running. But our older dog, like we had a couple that were track dogs,
Yeah, they struggle.
they struggled.
It's
I'm
too
talking,
much sign. That's a thing.
I'm not going to call the dog finished until it's pretty much dead. You know, it's done gone as far as it can go. These finished dogs, they were struggling. The pups and young dogs, we had a bird dog. We had a pointer, carried him over there. He had never hunted at all. Carried him over there, he found 3 hogs right off the bat, boom, boom, boom. He was running with his head up, just running in circles. He would go out 600-700 yards and just start coming in like that, and bam, he'd bust one. Worked out great. After that weekend, that dog right there really came on pretty strong.
Yeah, okay, this is what we're doing. It's kind of that crossover point where instead of he's just running whatever, he's like,
Figured out
I
for
smell
hogs.
these pigs, and then I'm finding these pigs, and
Yeah, he put it all together. And so it's one of them deals where, now that you've got into hunting pretty good, you need to figure out what's going to work for you and what you like. All right, so now that we done went over all this other stuff, let's go to,
back to the buying the dogs.
yeah,
You've gotten a puppy, you bought some young dogs, you've raised them, you know what you're looking
there
for.
are different levels. You need to
figured
know
out.
that.
You figured out, okay, this is the style of dogs I'm hunting, this is the range of dogs I'm hunting. Okay, so now you're like, dang, my old dog got killed, or you're trying to start another pack of dogs.
Yeah, and then
Either way, for
if
like
you get,
plan B.
you need to know the difference though, and what a started dog is, a dog that's going good, and a finished dog. Because there's going to be people like that. Well, I got a finished dog for sale.
We need to clarify that.
Yeah. Finished dog, like I was saying a while ago, to me a finished dog is not really finished until it's done went as far as it can go. But you know, a lot of people, I like to finish a dog out. It's what everybody calls it. You want that dog, you can take it pretty much anywhere at any time and succeed. Finished dog.
It's got a good handle on
It's
it.
got a good hand. That dog can adapt and go from flatland, mountains, cutovers, thickets, whatever. Doesn't mean that it's going to shine per se, but you will be able to catch what you need
I
with
would
that dog.
say-
You can catch it with that, and then a started dog is one that, to me, is I've carried it to the woods a couple of times. It's been on a couple pigs. It knows what a pig is. And then you got one, what I call one that's going good, is I can take that dog and go catch hogs fairly consistent. And, if he's not a lead dog, he's going to be on every bay and every catch there. So,
And I would probably pretty comfortably say a finished dog is not going to be younger than 5 years old. 5 is still a pretty young finished dog. It's going to have to be
Well,
it's going to be on a lot of hogs.
it's got, yeah, I mean, it's got to have experience.
Yeah,
It depends. I think it would depend. I would probably say 3.5, 4 years old maybe would be the very youngest to me. That's just us.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm more, and I mean, I've taught him most of the stuff that he knows, and he's learned a multitude of stuff on his own. But like I said, you know, it's just one of the deals, and you can't expect too much at one time. You can't take a 16-month-old dog and expect it to do what a 5-year-old dog can. No.
A child cannot do a grown man's job. You gotta let them mature, let them grow into their own.
If you take a 10-year-old kid, he might can nail on shingles, and he might can do them correctly, but he cannot outdo a 30-year-old roofer. Simple. You know, he can grow up to outdo him. He can be better than him when he's 25.
But he could also get burnt out.
Yep.
And never roof again.
Exactly. That's one of those deals that just, you know, just work. Make sure you got everything set up for your dogs,
Coach them to
pups,
succeed.
whatever. Make sure that you set them up for success and not failure. If you take them to the desert
With no hog sign.
with no hog sign, they're not going to catch any pigs. Put them in hog sign. Go bait you up a spot. Get the hogs coming in. Hunt over a feeder. Hell, it don't matter. There's somebody going to let you hunt hog. I'm guaranteed you.
Oh yeah, they're nuisance.
So just keep that in mind where you're at. You know, I always try to set it up for success. It's just like you. You need to be set up for success in life, like you would do your children, do your dogs the same way. Best, you know, try to do it like that, and it'll work. Some dogs are not going to make it. Don't be scared to cull. That's a hard thing to do sometimes, but it's if you really care about your pack, and you care about being consistent in your reputation and what you have to bring to the table when somebody calls and says, hey, I've got a hog problem, you need to make sure you got the dogs to do it with. Don't show up with just a bunch of dogs that won't hunt or won't do anything. And if they don't, you know, don't bring them back. It costs the same to feed a dog that won't hunt as it does to feed a finished, damn good dog. It costs the same amount. So, like I said, we're going to have a couple more episodes on this. This is a longer ordeal. We're going to get into more junk and stuff. If you guys want certain topics, if you have questions or anything, leave us a comment. If you're on the YouTube part, do that. You can listen to us on Spotify, Buzzsprout. You know, we appreciate y'all. We're just doing this to, you know, hog dogging is a sport that we love, and there's not a whole lot out there. There's a lot of videos out there.
But there's
that
no
people do.
content.
Yeah, but it's not a steady content.
Nothing in depth.
Hog Dog Nation podcast is doing
Going leaps and bounds.
yeah, they're paving the way for a lot of stuff. I'm not saying that we just, you know, we done this because they were doing it. But it has really motivated us to do it more and to come out more. And
Same tree, different branch. Theirs is more the bay dogs.
Yeah.
Pat's got a lot of knowledge as
Oh,
far
man.
as hounds and
Ed
running
Barnes, check out his book.
Ed Barnes, great book.
Yep.
Gotta have it.
And then we got some people we like to thank. You know, when we do these videos, they help us through with Dixie Doggers. You know, whether it be by some products that we use or by some land that we hunt. You know, we got Fin and Feather Lodge. We've hunted out of that place a lot. Tim Harrington, our friend over in Mississippi. John Van Note, All American Hound and Hunting Supply. We got
Crockett Taxidermy.
Yep.
Lance
Criswell. Then we got Frank Wright Construction.
Crockett Construction.
Ride Outdoor Company. Who else we got? Scent Balls. We got them. Lynn Farms.
Yes. If
We
you're in the north central Alabama area, buy your corn from them. They got
Yeah.
some of the best prices and probably more volume than most people.
Yeah. And we're gonna make sure they have plenty of corn because we keep the hogs out of the corn.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we're
DY Outdoors, Donnie
Donnie
Yates.
Yates. He's in Carbon Hill, Alabama.
If you need any game cameras or anything like that,
Oh man, he got us hooked up with the Tacticam.
reveal.
Yeah, we'll
That's a
put
game
some pictures
changer.
and stuff. Oh, it's changed everything on our trapping and stuff so far. I mean, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm in there on my phone looking at it. You know, I'm like, look, they're going in the trap. Oh, we got them here. Oh, there's a new boar. Oh, there's a sow. She's got some little ones. You know,
And it's in real times.
and for guys my age that weren't used to the technology, guys, I'm telling you, this is the way to go. It's cheap.
You started out without a tracking
It's
system,
cheap.
and now you're getting like almost a real-time feed of the hogs being there. It's like, wow, the future is now.
All right, check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Dixie Doggers.
Everybody we mentioned will be linked down below in the description.
Yep.
So if you're on Spotify, you'd have to move to YouTube.
Yeah, go to YouTube, check it out. We have a donate button. Also,
For our veterans hunts
we take a lot of veterans out hunting.
and active duty military.
Yeah, we're not out begging, bumming for money, nothing like that. But it does cost a lot of money. I've done this for over 10 years, taking some veterans out hunting every year. Never asked anybody for a dime.
Pays for their meals, their gas money,
Pays for everything.
whatever they need.
We have a couple of people that donate, $10 a month every month, and it's a tremendous help. We'll set up a Patreon account. We're gonna have
to get that linked up.
Yep.
To where you could become a subscriber, you get exclusive content, and eventually we're gonna have some of our own gear up there.
We'll have all of your logos, brands, and stuff back here on this wall. I've done.
So we'll
done
get into
woodwork
more
and
into
stuff.
that
Yeah.
later on
We'll get
episodes.
into all that stuff. I've got this right here. I worked on this for our buddy at Crockett Taxidermy. Not done with it yet, but just a little something maybe you can see what you're going to get to hang up on the wall behind us. Thanks for your patronage. That's what we're talking about. I guess that's what you call it. So, these guys that support us doing this, we thank y'all so much. Thanks for listening. Tune in again. We're going to try to do this about every 2 weeks. Dennis Monahan, thanks for listening, California, brother.